Okay. If we can call this meeting to order of the Mangum City Hospital Authority, if we can have a roll call, please.
Lively,
Here.
Ford,
Here.
Van Zant,
Here.
Hopper,
Here.
Webb.
Here. Okay. Everyone, let's take a minute and review the consent agenda if we could. Is there any items that anybody wants pulled out of the consent agenda?
I may not need quality pulled out, but just can I ask a few questions on that?
Yeah, absolutely. The attorney's not here, so we can do whatever we want.
Sounds good. Okay, that's where my first thing starts. Okay, so we look back over, it seems to be that we've had a few people that have, you've had to talk to as far as patients or visitors.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I was just kind of curious about that as far as, did they leave everything fine? Did they leave very ugly? I mean, how did all that end up as far as, because obviously it didn't hit social media, so it must have been an older person. So, everything's good with that?
Yes, ma'am.
What does MSC mean?
Medical screening exam.
Okay, I figured it had this
Yep.
exam, but I wasn't for sure the other two.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm gonna assume the page behind it actually goes with the same incident before, it just kinda got carried over into 18 maybe. I guess that's the other.
From 17 to 18,
Mm-hmm.
the witness fall.
Well, you see on, well, no, that starts in the number 1.
Yeah.
So is that a totally different one? But the loud speaking people?
What page are you on?
Yeah, what page?
It's on, at the bottom, it says 17 of 30 and
Okay.
18 of 30.
Okay.
And then it's 16 on the little shaded thing. But it continues on to the next page, so that's what I was
Okay.
kinda curious about. Do you think that's, is that totally different, or?
Signed other.
Because it starts back in a 1.
Yeah, that's a totally different.
Okay, so that just
Yep.
had to be extended to the second
Yes.
page. Okay,
Should be continued instead of other.
okay. And then I guess this last one, when we look at something that I think we see over and over was the nurse being rude. I mean, we see that on a monthly basis, and I understand that people come in there, they're stressed out, they're very sick, and all that can happen, but, I mean, I just kinda ask if this is continually being the same person per sons, we have an issue, hopefully that we're addressing it, because if we're just talking with them, it's not getting through.
It is not the same person anymore.
Okay,
It is not the same person. That person, we've addressed that person and it's been corrected. But this is
Okay.
not the same person.
okay.
Is
That
it
good to know.
possible that we have a little more on when it says rudeness, maybe that way we know and more than like just, I mean, rudeness carries a lot, like.
Multiples, yes.
I think a nurse is rude when she tells me to lose weight and watch my blood pressure. You know, or are we dealing with genuine, true, I don't know, like.
Yeah.
other-
Rolling the
Like
eyes,
my
sighing.
degree of rudeness to you and yours might be totally different.
Well,
It
and like,
is.
what's rudeness? Did we tell a little old lady that she's not allowed to go home and she can't smoke in the waiting room?
Yeah.
Or are we talking
Or that
about?
they can't have pain meds.
Or they
Yeah,
can't have
so
pain
that's-
meds?
That's rude.
That's a
Yeah.
whole other
Mhm,
thing.
it is.
We address that under the patient perception of care,
Yeah,
Mhm.
because when they complain, you have to address it.
Yes.
Release the facts about that. But again, you are right, because most of what we see is someone not wanting.
bless you.
Someone, pain medication, no, it's not time for your pain medicine. yet.
Gotcha,
The other nurse they need to be early, you can have it earlier than.
sure.
But you all trust that if, the patient really comes first, our employees are very important as well. But there's an issue where there's a staff attitude that is proven to be true towards the patient. That is unacceptable.
Right, okay. Good deal. I think that was the only thing I circled in that other area.
So, just to kind of follow up on that, Cheryl did mention that there's kind of a repeated pattern, and I'm curious as to ultimately what the solution is, because you don't have a large staff.
We don't, we do not.
And it's a repeated pattern, and apparently it's different people, so,
I want to review last month's quality, because I think this is the same.
okay.
I think this is a copy forward kind of a deal.
Okay, so it's a copy and paste deal,
I
and it's
think
not
this-
necessarily
Because aren't we
this one
having
got
this
carried
meeting
forward?
quarterly, not monthly?
No,
Monthly.
monthly.
But
A
again,
quality
I don't
meeting?
wanna
Yeah.
We have it every
set
month.
expectations on that too high. Patient perception of care, you're gonna hear that everywhere.
Definitely.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
Someone wake me up to change my diaper, I wasn't happy with that. So let's not expect that we're not gonna see it, we want everything to ensure that they have.
Yeah.
No, we're just wanting to make sure it's not the same person.
But at the
because if
same
that's
time,
his-
with as small of a staff and facility as you're running,
Yeah.
it necessarily shouldn't be, because yes, people do have their own perception, and their perception is reality, that's for
right,
sure.
absolutely.
And rudeness can be a multitude of things, as we have all said.
Yeah.
But it still should not necessarily be a consistent pattern. It's not like you have a staff the size of OU.
Or,
It's a very small staff.
or if there's like a certain policy that may need to be changed, you
You're
know?
right, but you put in mind again, it's perception of care.
Yeah,
We running X amount of patients in bed, it's not a big staff, but it's a 24-hour operation. People are coming through the emergency room, very sick and very impatient at some time. So our goal is not to have anyone complain, but just trust that if the complaints are valid, we'll deal with the situation.
Right, but I think what we're looking at too is we do not run in as many people through as OU, Altus, or any of that. So one bad apple, one bad
And
experience,
not all
it
of these
radiates
are
all over.
related to ER, according to what's
Yeah.
being written. Some of these are in the floor, some of these are through the ER. So the situation is different. Yes, when people come into the ER, usually they are not at their best. They're at their worst, they're scared, they potentially have a life-threatening emergency and/or don't know,
Yeah.
which can heighten things and their perception of somebody being rude or not as compassionate as they feel they should be versus when you're on the floor as an inpatient.
Absolutely, again, we continue to monitor, I can expect that we will probably see about 1,000 of these a day.
I'm just saying the staff level is as far as
so-
controlling your staff and having an eye on them and actually knowing what's going on. It's much easier with this small versus that facility.
We'll continue to monitor that and report, sure.
I can email y'all once I verify that, I'm trying to give them my email.
Oh, well, I mean, it's
No
not.
pressure, no
yeah.
pressure.
No, I know, but I wanna say that's a duplicate.
Okay.
I do, because that's the same thing you asked last.
Right, and that's,
Okay.
The exact same.
it's like rinse,
Yeah,
lather,
that's
and
the
repeat.
exact same. And there was a repeat offender that we did talk about, but
I did see that too, yeah.
yes.
Oh, no, I was talking about a patient that was being readmitted. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
So I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'd like to second that motion if we can call for a vote at this time, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay. Remarks or inquiries by the audience not pertaining to any item on the agenda? Okay, moving on to item number 27, the October financial report.
Hello again. Again, my name is Adrienne Brown and very close to Andrea. I've got our October financial board packet, and I'm sure you do too. I'm going to be going over the financial summary. Okay, starting with the average daily census for October, it was about 8.5. That's down about 3.5 days year to date and down 2 from prior year. Our acute payer mix was really good for October. We're at 97% for Medicare and Medicare managed care. That's leaving us like less than 3% with everything else, so that's really great. Year-to-date swing bed payer mix is 91% for Medicare and 9% for Medicare managed care. Our operating margin is a negative $174,000, which is down $6,900 from the year-to-date monthly average. Our net patient revenue was $1.2 million for the month, which is a decrease of $177,000 from the prior month year-to-date average due to the decrease in the average daily census. Our 340B revenue was a little over $9,000 for October, with a year-to-date amount of $126,000. Operating expenses are at $1.3 million for October, which is down $159,000 from the year-to-date monthly average. Patient days for October are at 263, which is quite low compared to the year-to-date monthly average of 364. Cash receipts for the month were a little over $1.2 million, which is down $278,000 from last month. Cash disbursements are at $1.3 million. And for our cash balance, our restricted cash balance at October month end was $712,000, giving us around 16 days of cash on hand. But if you include our reserves, we ended the month at $1.52 million, giving us 30.2 days of cash on hand year to date. For our clinic financials, the year-to-date average for visits per day went down from 8.91 in September to 7.13 in October. Revenue for the clinic is at $323,000 year to date. Operating expenses are at $724,000 year to date, resulting in a net loss of $401,000 year to date right now. And that's what I've got, guys. And I
Okay.
will do my best to answer any questions. but-
Reserves, how much is actually in reserves?
See if I can pull it up here.
I didn't want to stop you to get it in.
Oh, you're good. See if I have the exact amount in here.
It's over 800,000 in that piece. We have 1.5 million combined, they're actually,
Thank you, Dennis.
What's the 850?
it's strictly cash.
Yes.
We separated them earlier because for COVID, we were going through that piece, but they're all together.
Oh, so we've now merged those two
Yes, ma'am.
accounts?
We have they may be in separate bank accounts.
They are.
They're in separate bank accounts.
Separate
but it's
bank accounts, which is
1.5
why.
million, which we treated to call it
So what you're
operating.
calling reserves is basically that COVID money?
Yeah, it's left in a separate account.
Right.
We just haven't moved all the cash.
And how much did you say that
one.
was?
So
The
was it
difference between the
800?
1.5 and the 712.
It's like 800 something. I don't have the exact amount on my paper.
Roughly 800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our bad.
Gotcha. But technically, that COVID money cannot be spent, can it?
No, we've spent that COVID money. We just haven't moved the money from account A to account B.
Right.
But we've spent the money from account B. We just haven't moved the money over. I've done the same thing. I've just kept it as I've spent the money out of my regular account or kept it in.
Okay.
Just haven't moved it over to
Sure.
the point it's, they're just using it as, it probably,
You could transfer 200,000 to one account or you can change the balance in it. We
Yeah.
just haven't closed one account. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
That's a good question. The amazing part, Andrew kind of alluded to that, is we have a low census, again, we're running double digits
Because you probably sent out a lot of checks today, did you not? In this Tuesday?
did.
Yeah. Mm.
We do checks
And
every,
this is October.
Yes.
yes. We do that, as you know, every Monday, and usually when we
Sure.
get the bulk of our Medicare money is closer to the end of the month, third week to fourth week.
Oh, I see, you're trying to tell, okay, so there may not be 800 still in there or 712 still in there.
Yeah, but this is October.
Gotcha.
No,
But more money have also come in too,
Oh, really?
you know, since,
I knew we had a lot going out.
yeah, since then we collected more within this month, right? So we didn't get that report for this
Yeah,
month.
we also, we got that payment sent out right after we met the last time, so that's a big,
We reconcile our cash every single day. So we also keep a schedule of, here's what we have for November, here's what we have projected for December, and then we try to do it 3 months out, but we have it for every single day, so you can go and look. She'll update, like, and she'll send it to me to review, but it'll show all the disbursements, what category they went to, here's our Medicare cash, here's our other cash receipts, and we have it broken out like categories, so we can track it that way too. And we also have it broken out for ACHs or anything else that we have our debt payment. But every single day it's reconciled.
I do want to make a comment. When Andrea was here before, she used to send by email exactly how much money we had in account before we signed checks. When they came down to, when Melanie or whoever would come down for us to sign the checks. So since Ally is now going to be signing the checks, we need that. We need to know what's in there before she signs checks to be paid. We need to know if there's money in there or not. So we used to get one from Andrea every time before they came down. I don't know what program put to get that. Unfortunately, we can't get into any of our old emails right now, or I would kind of send you a screenshot of what it was
No, we
before.
should
Yeah, we'll figure it
Okay.
out.
Just since she's new and her signing checks, to know if there's money in there or not, she don't want her name on the checks. Yeah.
And we have it every morning, so we have the same email. every morning.
yeah, it's probably something.
Okay, that'll be great.
And I know you're new, I'm new as well. I'm looking at the last page of the AP aging, and there's the little, square that looks like it's old debt from maybe previous management groups.
Yes, that 892,000.
Yeah, so is that the source of any of the lawsuits? Is that just sitting there? Have they
Some of
written that
right.
off?
Some of them are.
Yes.
Yeah, some of them
Lawsuit.
are.
Yeah, because see, when we took over, we went through, there was a lot of AP,
Mhm.
and we narrowed down, tried to see the APs that were vendors that affect the hospital. We were not to pay them because cash was tight,
Mhm.
it was still tight. There were vendors like with the billboards, and then we didn't pay those, they were advertising the surgeons on the billboards and giving it to the hospital. So some of those things that were questionable, those are the things that we loaded into that 800 now.
But as a new firm, a new manager, are you liable for all of those? I mean, is that not something
I think
that can be
this-
written off?
I think the city's still.
The city is?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we still, even though they're managing, we still own.
But it's not something that they're being hassled about over every day? I mean,
No.
you don't get a lot of calls? Okay. I just wondered, I mean, that's a lot of money
Yeah.
to have to be worried about all the time.
And I think that goes back to, and I don't even know if, I don't recall if this is on the agenda or not, but balancing that out each year.
I see.
Like you see, there's that Henry outdoor media that was the advertisement
Yeah.
on the billboards, and those are costs that are not allowable and not
Right.
reimbursable on the cost report, so we wasn't it.
Money for that.
Like Quartz Mountain Resort,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, there's some real questionable stuff.
Yeah.
Then some of those equipments, like the medical surgical consulting, a lot of those are the entities tied to the lawsuit.
So after 5 years, won't these go away?
I think the lawsuit is settled and stuff, again, we just, there's no basis for us to write it off right now.
Yeah.
So when there's a settlement of some type, then we can then have a reason for the write-off.
But we won't get to write that off the cost report?
Not a lot of this, no, so
Okay.
we,
We also have other receivables too that are the same thing, so until it's known, you know, we haven't really noticed, but we could reserve against them. That's a good,
Thank you.
that's a good point.
so some of the things that, you know, that we'll see in the future, like some of these costs that are here, perhaps some of these costs has been put in the cost report years ago. So when there's a settlement, assuming that Medicare haven't done their final audit and close that period, they could still be asking for backups to support this, and they could still keep that around, which we could still end up paying them some money because of these expenses.
So it could look like we're hiding money if we just write it.
Yeah, that's right. If we write it off, then we have to go open those cost reports and keep
Ooh,
those
yeah.
costs out, so.
Moving on to item number 28, discussion of possible action to approve Simon's Coastliners agreement with the Mangum Regional Medical.
Okay, before we go there, I'm just trying to see if I have, okay. Because the very first one I printed had the stopping point as 10 as far as the consent agenda. Had a line under it. And then when you pick back up, it went right to the financials. So we're considering all that stuff now is under the consent agenda? Items basically 11 to 26?
Just one second.
All the policies.
Well,
I thought we approved those.
we approved the consent agenda.
Which was items 1 through 26.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, because before it stopped at 10, had the line under it, like that was the last of the consent agenda. And then wham, this other stuff fell under it. So
Oh.
that threw me off. Okay, see, like on my first paper, when I printed it off, it
Yeah.
has that, and that's usually where we find the end of the consent agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, but then on the one that was placed here, it clearly doesn't have that same line, so that was making me like, what in the world?
Making me look.
Because we always
So your
have,
packet didn't have 1 through?
yeah, it has 1 through 10, and they're all underlined, like those are the consent agenda
But they
items.
didn't have the items on the items 11 through
See, when over- when
26.
you
The
get on
items
to-
themselves weren't
Weren't.
like hyperlinked.
Oh,
Well, I think those were in
that's
the
what goes
shared
through
drive.
those, yes, the shared drive, that
Yeah,
yellow
that's
one.
Oh, that's the same thing I've never been able to get on.
Oh,
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still have been able to get on the shared drive?
I did, yeah.
I got on.
Okay, so that's why mine looks different than this one?
No. so
Well,
do I.
so you still don't have the hyperlink.
No.
Yeah, so the ones with the line underneath it, if you click on that, it takes you to that section in here.
Gotcha.
That means there's backup included in our packet, so you
Right.
just click on it, takes you straight to that.
Okay.
The things that aren't underlined don't have a hyperlink,
Mhm.
and so there's no backup contained
Right.
within this.
Gotcha.
Your actual packet that we email should have all the attachments except for those.
Except for the
policies
policies,
and
'cause they're
procedures.
so
We'll go
big.
back to that.
Because they're
Yes,
so big.
back to that.
Okay, sure.
Because
Yes.
if so, it would be like 400 pages
Oh,
long
man,
or
it'd be
so,
ridiculous.
so-
Well, and you're fixing to get, 5 books come to you next.
Okay, then why did we have them, if we've approved these last time, why did we have them back on here?
You didn't approve these are a different set of
These are new
policies.
ones.
Oh, okay.
These are new policies.
Gotcha.
I thought the same thing too, till I
Yes,
felt
no,
lost
these are
and
new
found.
policies. Yeah. These are more policies.
Okay, sorry, now you
Well,
can move on.
well, Cheryl, you actually, so I thought you had a line up underneath that separated the two, so I went back to look, it's like, maybe I was confused. But I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah,
Get the line, yeah.
So it's our responsibility to go find that again, we're not gonna.
I can
Yeah.
resend you the
email each
hyperlink
time.
again.
You're gonna have to be able to.
Yeah, I
get
can
in.
resend it to you,
Okay.
because that's the easiest way for you to get them, is to go in through that shared drive.
Now, when we said we're gonna get 5 books, will those be hyperlinked?
That will be in that share file also.
That'll be in the share
That will
file.
be in that share file. So we can go ahead and put those in there so you can start looking at them, because they are 5 books.
Like about what?
Emergency department policies, procedures, quality policy and procedures, RHC policy and procedure, actually, that one won't come until the new year.
Where's the accounting understandable?
Hmm?
Accounting for dummies?
Oh, that's not in there yet. It's coming. Dennis is writing those.
Dennis is writing
Dennis
them.
is writing those.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those, let me see what else. There's 2, 3, there's pharmacy and quality and, radiology. This is the annual policy review.
We will be okay with, because this is, the law requires that this be done every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all of this, we will present any changes that have occurred to the policy. So you are just seeing the changes, if it's
Yeah.
okay with you, or unless
That's,
you
I
want
think that would be best.
I would prefer just to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is incredible now.
It is, yeah.
Because
It's very,
there's no way I'm gonna get through 5 books.
5 books. It's 5 books.
Yeah.
I can't even
about-
read a book
yeah.
in a year.
And you're gonna read more than a book in these 5 books, I
Yeah.
guarantee you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea.
Consolidate that and just highlight the
Yeah.
changes in the policies.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We can do that. Absolutely.
Okay.
So we on 28 now?
We're on 28 now, yeah.
Okay, so item 28, this is an existing vendor of ours, it's through Siemens. This is a lab analyzer, it's the coag analyzer that we use every day to do coag studies for patients in the hospital. I want to say the price on this went up $4, went up from $38.91 to $38.95 per year. It's a 2-year agreement, 2023 through 2025. So it's $38.95 a year. Again, like I said, so an $8 increase over the 2 years. If we don't do coags, that means we can't do D-dimers, we can't do PTs.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We can call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Moving on to item number 29, discussion and possible action to approve Mangum BCBSOK professional group agreement amendments for hospital board providers.
This is just, again, our yearly re-credentialing with Blue Cross Blue Shield that we gotta do every year. There was no big changes that myself or our revenue cycle director, Lori, saw with them. They're staying still with right around the 101% of Medicare fee schedule. This is just to keep us in network with our Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
We
Okay.
can call for a vote at this time, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Moving on to item number 30, discussion and possible action to approve the equipment maintenance agreement between BP Medical Services.
So currently, we are using another vendor for this. This is for equipment service and maintenance agreement for 24/7 care and preventative maintenance for all of our equipment in the hospital and the clinics, with the exception of, say, CT. They have to be done specifically by GE. But our current cost per year is $9,800. This one is actually going down to $7,000, so we're going to save $2,800 a year. And actually, they've got them to agree later that they will provide 7 free service hours for us on certain equipment, so.
So am I going crazy? I thought we, within the last 90 days or something, approved a maintenance agreement.
For, not for all of our equipment. We have done several maintenance agreements, yes, sir.
Was it for the radiology?
For
CT, yeah.
That's right.
The power injector, that was the Bear. Yep.
Okay.
That was the Bear power injector. This is for all the other equipment, IV pumps, They come in and make sure biomed, make sure all of our equipment is mechanically safe for us to plug in and not get electrocuted and functioning properly. That is an absolute requirement. And they come out every quarter, actually.
Just looking over.
I'll make that motion.
What's the, it says 1750 and then over to the side, 7,000 per year.
Mm-hmm. So $1,750 a quarter.
Quarter.
Yep, quarterly. Because they hit so many, we got so much equipment, they hit this for this quarter, this for next quarter. So that's how they do it, they break it up.
I'll second.
We can call for a vote at this time, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Moving
Webb.
on.
Yes.
No, sorry.
sorry.
Discussion and possible action to terminate the agreement between the commercial medical electronics maintenance agreement and the medical regional medical center, Mangum Regional Medical Center.
That is the previous company that was doing our biomed that we will have to terminate, so we need approval to send them a termination letter.
So the one we just approved, you're getting rid of, that's the second item?
Yes, the second item, 31 is the item that we're getting rid of. The 30 is taking place of 31.
So it's a cost savings about $2,800 a year.
Yep, by getting rid of them.
Same service,
Yeah, yes,
everything's.
yes.
Well, I'd like to make the motion that we do since we just hired somebody else.
Well, let me ask something about that.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about all this equipment and everything, all of it needing to be maintained, is that equipment medical, for Mangum Regional, or is that equipment, cohesive equipment?
It's Mangum Regional equipment.
We don't have any equipment.
Okay.
at the
Yeah, it's Mangum Regional.
Okay,
all the
Yep.
equipment.
so it'll always stay here then, no matter.
Mhm.
It's actually bought new equipment to, the COVID stuff, and so they do it.
Okay,
But they said.
Didn't know how that was-
yours.
didn't know how that was working.
Yeah.
Okay,
I will say, I think we're doing this backwards. I think we
Yeah.
probably should have
Should-
fired the first.
Yeah,
before
fired
we
the first ones
next.
first, yeah. I sent it to them backwards, that's my fault.
But I'd second that motion.
We can call for a vote.
Lively,
yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 32, discussion and possible action to approve the agreement fiber optic endoscopic evaluation of swallowing services between Freeborn Dysphagia Associates LLC and Mangum Regional Medical Center.
So what this, currently, if we have our speech therapist comes out and says this person needs a swallow study, we have to send them to Jackson County or Elk City, because they have to have a radiologist on site to read it. This does away with that transport. So what is that? That causes a delay in patient care for us. Sometimes our patients have to wait a couple days till we get them scheduled with them. And then a ride, whether MediRide takes them or an ambulance. So that when that happens and they're inpatient or swing bed patients of ours, we have to foot the bill for the ambulance or MediRide. This way, they will come to the bedside, they're certified to come to the bedside and do this procedure for right around, $550, and the patient never has to leave our facility anymore. It's not a cost to us at all unless we use them, kind of like our PICC line services. If we use them, it's just something else we can offer our patients so they don't have to leave our facility.
Another benefit that, like you said, leaving the facility causes stress
On the patient.
And then also, it's not an irradiated procedure, because with the LOBAS, they have to swallow a varying contrasted medium to visibly watch the swallow.
Yeah, with
And
that- with
so
the
limits
fluoroscope.
that, so it's-
What do they use?
So
They use an endoscopic camera, and they watch it. It's at
So is
bedside.
this a physician doing it?
It'll be a tech, yeah. It won't be a physician, it'll be a
I've
tech.
seen where they have like speech therapies that
Yeah.
do the test. One advantage, financial advantage to this is when patients are transferred from the SWINGET program to a diagnostic testing, to an ambulance or non-emergency transport, those are called, those are called transports, and those transport costs are allowed over non-reimbursable costs or cost reports. So then if you have this person come to perform this service and you pay them, then that cost becomes an allowable and reimbursable cost. So the cost of.
I get that. My question was more associated with is it typically the Greer County ambulance that if the transport's happening, Greer County would?
That or MedRide.
Okay.
Right now, Greer County EMS is down in ambulance, so we'd have to wait for MedRide or find somebody else to transport.
So if it were the Greer County ambulance that we're transporting and it's individual that lives within the city that's paying that fee, then whatever their insurance didn't cover, then,
Their insurance, we can't even bill their insurance because they're a patient of ours. We can't even bill their insurance. It's incurred by us. It's
so
incurred by the hospital.
it would be incurred regardless.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if you transmit that patient, let's say we have a patient in the SWINGET program and they have a change in condition and we're moving them to another hospital.
Mhm.
The ambulance can transfer them and then the ambulance can do the insurance and stuff. But we're sending them there.
To
as a
be
transport,
tested.
Just go get some and come back, that cost, the hospital pays for that transport cost.
Okay.
And we don't get a bill for it.
No.
You don't get a bill, but the bill is an expense that is
Yeah.
not.
No, but we have to
allowed.
pay it.
Yeah,
I mean,
EMS will,
The
EMS
hospital
will
is
bill
still
us.
Hospital pays it,
responsible.
but we
Yes.
can't even get refunded.
It's a lot more
Correct.
expensive than you would think.
Yeah.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
very expensive.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yep.
And is this is a reimbursable?
Yes, absolutely.
So there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in the event that a patient chose not to go this route, would prefer to do the other route, that's still.
Yep,
we're
still an
able to
option.
Provide that, this is just
And it
another
depends on
option
what
to
the
them.
speech therapist recommends. If the speech therapist recommends that this will work, then that's fine. And if they recommend a different type of swallow study, then we'd have to do that one.
Okay. But this is just another option available.
Absolutely, yep.
So I'd make that motion.
I'll second it.
You can call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, just moving on to item number 33, discussion and possible action to approve the addendum to the service agreement for RevOps AVID.
So this is a new aspect of AVID that they provide for us free of cost, as you see. It can be terminated within one business day. So all this agreement does, it gives us the accessibility to another software program to where if somebody comes into our facility, we can use this to determine if they happen to have insurance out there. So if a patient might not know that their family member has insurance on them, this allows us to search that and determine they do or do not have insurance, and that we could bill. So could help our reimbursement.
It's no cost to us.
No cost to us.
Just, I don't know how somebody would know if they had insurance.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised.
And how can you purchase insurance on somebody else?
Well, like if it's a, kid, till they're 24 now?
We're talking about a huge,
26.
yeah.
26, yeah. If they don't, I don't have insurance because mom and dad's never told them. This will
Okay,
search
I
that.
get that
Yes,
part.
you
I'm
do.
thinking-
It's like Jesse's 23, he couldn't answer a medical question if his life depended on
And
it. He still says, call my mom.
There you go, that's a good answer.
Yeah. Patient condition, we can search, so
Sure.
that'll help us also. If they're altered and we can't tell, this will tell us. And again, it's free. It's an option they provide to us.
I would make the motion to approve that.
I will second that motion. We can call for a vote at this time, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to discussion and possible action to approve MC HIPAA Security Officer Equipment. Tim
Hoppin.
Hoppin?
Hoppin.
Okay.
We lost our IT person a couple months ago. He resigned and went to another area, and he went to Altus, and we need to approve a new security person. And Tim Hoppin is our IT guy now. So
Is Tim on site?
3 days a week. The other 2 days he works at Carnegie. So he
Okay.
works for Cohesive 5 days a week. Yep. Tim Hoppin.
Tim Hoppin?
I would like to make a motion we approve.
I'll second.
We can call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 36, discussion of possible action. To approve moving forward with a debit card linked to the hospital account.
Hold on, you
instead
missed
of-
35. You missed 35.
I don't want to talk about that. Mistake. Discussion of possible action regarding the review and approval of RHC patient balances.
So we got some patient balances out there, and we want to know how the board wants us to move forward that are fixing to hit a year or at a year. So after a year, we can't attempt to collect through collections if we haven't billed them. So the request is, do y'all want us to just write them off? Or do you want us to send them a final letter, attempt to collect, and do that one attempt, that one last attempt?
What's the benefit of that versus writing off financially?
Good. I don't know
the
the-
Medicare patient, then you can put them in the bad debt bucket, which you will get some reimbursement for it. But the ones that are not Medicare, we won't have that benefit, but at the same time, we cannot treat them differently.
Yeah, so we got to do all of,
Yeah.
so currently they haven't been billed,
Could we
or they haven't received.
send a final bill with a decreased amount? Some is better than nothing?
Okay, so you're saying they have never been billed, they've not
They've
received a
never
notice?
paid on their bill. They
Okay.
want to know, so we send them 3 bills,
Mhm.
3 consecutive months. And then usually you write the debt off at that time. Well, that hadn't happened. So now, it's been a year. We can attempt to collect some of the balances by sending them a letter saying you owe this balance, or we can write it off.
You don't ever use any collection agency?
We have started now, yes, CSR for the clinics, yes. And y'all,
The normal collection policy.
Yep.
And we do this for all our accounts, and then Medicare, what God knows what this is, we get, after we've gotten out some pieces, we get 65% on that co-insurance piece that was the patient liability. So we can eventually get that on the cost.
But when we send it to collections, we lose a percentage of that?
Yes.
If we send it to collection, if they don't pay, we can still write it off. as
Yes.
bad debt.
Right.
Yes.
So it's really not.
I think our collections gets 50% if they go to collections, but these are people that have passed that 1 year for us to
Yeah.
send to collections.
I mean, then why not offer them
Yeah.
60%,
I don't know.
40% off and?
We would have to get with legal, like how, I mean, because everybody would have to be offered the full 60%.
So if you are okay with maybe just making a recommendation that they send one final bill,
Yeah.
then that will, because it gets really sticky
Mm-hmm.
when you try to give a discount.
Yeah.
So if the patient that came and paid, you're gonna wanna get reimbursed for paying in full where other people are getting a 60% discount.
Yeah.
Do you go, I mean, I understand that, but if.
Yeah.
So there's a policy for charity Medicaid, and it's accessible on the hospital's website. So if you can afford it, you can go on there and apply for that, and just through a qualification process,
Right.
which they have to prove a lot of stuff, then they can get a write-up on that, but I don't think we can just give a discount because bullshit, we not like that.
But I know with certain hospitals, like OU, for example, if, when I get a bill from there, if I'm willing to pay the bill in full at the time,
Yeah.
I get a 25% discount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're referring to a prompt pay discount.
That's at the time of
That's on the
service,
front
that's
end.
not a year later.
No, not typically. Like, for example, if I had, like, I was in the hospital and I spent whatever and then I get my bill, if I'm willing to settle it within so many days, pay it in full, I get a 25% discount.
Right, that's what they refer to as a prompt pay
Okay.
discount, but it's offered to
Everybody.
Right.
across the board.
Yeah.
And he's exactly right, you can't deviate from populations of paramedics. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I'm just gonna say is we don't need the nightmare that was created, I don't know if it's 12, 15 years ago, when people opened their mailboxes and they had stacks from the hospital of collection notices. That's not good practice,
Nope.
because they'd really never received, and I was one of them, I'd never ever received a bill, period. And I had quite a few.
Never received a bill from the clinic. Well, I paid my copay, but I'm just saying, I've been going there years, and I don't think I've ever got a bill.
We just institute that, one software is,
CSR?
ECW.
I'm getting it now.
I don't know if I can vote on this.
And you, right, Shirley, that, you know.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the, where we're printing our own payments.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're starting to do that, and then, you know, is that one thing where some of our hospitals, the software system pushed that other piece before we were ready, and then everybody started thinking about this bill that the phone calls are coming. So it's gonna be very tactical. We'll update on this new software next month.
Yeah.
I say send one final bill.
Send one final, we can do that, absolutely. I agree.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
If we
I
can
guess
call
that's
for a
a motion.
vote.
Yeah. Apparently it is now.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
I'm gonna abstain.
Van Zant.
Abstain.
Oh, sorry. Hopper,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Okay, now we're moving on to the possible action to approve the debit card.
I'm confused on 36.
Okay, so I've tried every credit card company out there to get a facility credit card, and they all want an individual guarantor.
Yes.
My social, my date of birth, under me, and I'm legally responsible for that line of credit.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I could put Godwin's name down if he gives me his social and date of birth, but I'm not putting mine down. Yeah. So the debit card linked to the bank account with a 5,000 max
If
for
I
the
get the
month
airline miles,
would be
yes.
the best thing.
Yes.
Again, it would be linked to the account. We would have to use a board member that's a signer that would be the person on the debit card. If this is from our bank, this is from Sovereign, would have to be a board member that's on the account that would have to approve all the purchases before we could make them. So whoever that.
Have you guys looked into that credit card I told you guys about?
I did.
And the credibility
Yeah.
of the
The prepay stuff doesn't work for like the faxage stuff that we need the credit card for our EHR. The prepaid does not work.
Okay.
That sort of takes away some of the, like the convenience of having,
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
the whole point, yeah.
Yeah, but I called Citibank, I called Sovereign to ask them about their credit card, Cattleman's about their credit card that we talked about, and I even called Capital One, and they were all like, no, it's an individual. Like, it was a pain to get somebody on the phone to tell me that no, it has to be an individual guarantor.
But I know businesses have
Dude,
cards.
blows my
I will
mind.
tell you, every single card I have has my personal name and my social as me as a guarantor on it.
But I have a state issued
Mm-hmm.
card that does not have my name on it.
I have no idea.
But
Man,
you have
I've
a
tried.
state card, man.
Ronnie, I've tried, man.
Governor Schmitt's name.
Because
Oh,
I thought the same thing too, because I was told after so many years in business, I would get it, and right now, nobody is allowing it.
I mean, one of the perks of the credit card is that the purchases can be made and they can be reviewed
Mhm.
and disputed.
Yes.
Yep.
In this facet, we're
It's the only time.
basically having to pre-do everything prior to.
Yep,
Yes.
And what happens if there's an emergency that exists that you need to use it?
we would have to call that board member. That board member that would be listed on that card would have to be accessible to myself or Josie
All the time.
all the time.
24/7.
24/7.
Which, I mean, I'm cool to be because I'm accessible 24/7.
Yeah, literally 24/7, you're gonna
Well, I
have to
know,
be.
but I guess my thought there is, I mean, God forbid, Carson, you're incapacitated
Yeah.
in some way.
Or traveling on an airplane, I can't get
Yeah.
hold of you, yeah. I know,
To be
believe
honest
me.
with you, I connect via Wi-Fi as soon as I get on the airplane.
So.
But, yeah, I mean, or if, let's say I moved and then immediately resign off this board, that will have to be changed.
You know, I can propose, you have a card,
No, we do not, I do not.
we go give him a cohesive card that is restricted to be used just for that, and the report of it is coming back here every month, and it's outlined, and then we reimburse every month for that. Just to have something, because right now everyone is using it, yes, that's just an option out there. There's no one willing to put,
How much of a credit limit are we talking? 1,500, 2,500, 5,000?
5,000 a month, 5,000 a month is what cohesive policy is.
What if Cheryl says, yes, you can purchase this, and you didn't want him to purchase it? The city of Mangum, we have ours, in our names, once for me and once for her.
Right, but it was through the bank,
Mhm.
because I remember approving that.
Yes,
But it's not a debit card.
no, it's a credit card.
It's a
So
credit card.
it says City of Mangum, and it's
Yeah.
got my name on it, but it's a credit card.
Yep.
And there's one for the city
But it
clerk and
wasn't-
one for the city manager.
but I think the liability of that still falls upon you, and you were held liable if that was not an approved purchase.
That was from Sovereign Bank, that's the only way I can get a credit card.
I mean, and I agree,
Which is what we
at least with
bonded.
this statement, what if Carson,
Right.
you tell him to go buy 12 TVs?
And Cheryl says no.
So in our situation, we will not define, this is just
Emergent stuff.
emergent where patient appear at the hospital, there's some medication that patient needs to be on that we don't have on the shelf.
That we gotta
Someone
purchase.
needs to run to the local pharmacy and get that patient that medication. They go get it and it's done.
Yeah.
Anything that can.
But-
I thought we were trying to avoid Mark having to use his credit card all the time to buy stuff.
And that's another thing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the issue when we did order TVs for the patient rooms, because we renovated and changed things, that, we got charged
They cost so much.
But
$100 for shipping.
that could have been, we could vote on that tonight, order it. You know, like, on a buying TV, like, that's not an emergency situation.
Right.
We could vote on that tonight, order the TV tomorrow, or even right now.
Yeah.
As soon as the meeting was concluded.
And in this situation, even if we were the one doing it, we would not buy TVs.
I think the cohesive card is going to meet the true need of the credit card the
Yeah,
best.
that's what it sounds
I
like.
would recommend gotten those out there,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
it's safer.
Yeah,
Credit
it is.
card in my
So we'll
opinion,
have one assigned to Kelly. We'll show additional coding,
Yes, sir.
everyone. And then we have a credit card policy already.
Yes.
Just need to make sure that we get the receipts and
That-
everything.
that all
and
that's
present
been
it to the
approved
board,
already.
And it's reimbursed everyone.
I think that's a more secure way of doing this. So the motion then needs to be that we approve moving forward with a cohesive credit card
To be reimbursed every month.
to be reimbursed monthly.
Yep.
And I'll make that motion.
I will second it.
If we could call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Do I have to read 37 all the way?
Yes. No.
So, 37,
I think the attorney would say yes or no.
We know, but he didn't show up.
those the financial audit, this is, so then it's got a proposal, and 2018 and 19 financial audits. And we sent it to Corey yesterday, so it was not planned to get on the board agenda. I spoke with Corey today, and he's gonna circulate that, and then you all can discuss at the next board meeting. That's what he told me this meeting, that he was supposed to forward, and he would say that, just like table. But
So
yeah.
37 is actually supposed to be tabled?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, hang on though, I mean,
What
is there
was
not any
discussed?
discussion on that? 'Cause when was this brought, I mean, obviously we're years late. When was this brought up? 2 months ago or just
Yes.
like?
We had
Last
it on
month.
the last
Same,
agenda.
something last.
And we had no action because nothing,
Well, we didn't
tabled
have,
it.
we tabled it because they were going to look for
We needed
possible
somebody
people that would
on this
actually.
And then we had an
Okay.
emergency
Go back
meeting,
that far.
okay,
so that's why it didn't feel like it was on last meeting, because it was an
Gotcha.
emergency meeting.
okay.
So
Just
we have a
about.
proposal, we have all the things, we sent it to Corey, he's just needs time to review it.
For Corey to review the proposal,
So, yeah, because it's proposed, so it's for him to then circulate the document to him yesterday. So, however you all need it, if we need to send it to you all directly, but it needs to be on the next board meeting for you. all.
well, here's the thing, we have our audit coming up in December, so it's right around the corner. So we either need to have a special meeting and be able to see that proposal, because we need to present our auditor something, and Corey knew that.
Well,
So-
this just got to him yesterday.
But we talked about it on the last meeting, so we had 30 days to get the proposal for this meeting.
Okay.
So if we have a proposal
There is a.
that we
copy.
sent to Corey, then we need to have something to present our auditor. So we need to have a special meeting of some sort to say this is what we're going to use.
Okay.
So we can present to our consultant and auditor, so we're not in trouble.
Is this our
I
copy?
still think you'll get a ding.
We're going
Oh,
to get
yes,
it.
absolutely, yeah.
You'll still get a ding because we've gotten a ding every year for the last
Yes.
6 years.
We don't have the money for the dings anymore. So we've got to come up with something. But if this is the proposal, do you guys want to see it?
So what I'm looking at is just for 2018, 2019.
Yes, correct.
He already had the engagement letters for the others, notes in process.
So roughly, we're looking between 31,000 to as high as,
It's, should be about 19,000 a year.
That's good
So
because
probably
the
about
last time we
38,000
were looking at.
on the high side.
what timeframes did they give us?
It depends. They, until we have information, you know, and what's available, and we've got 1 year is 2018. So, you know, there's some.
Yeah.
parameters. This had to go through, and Corey sent us the information, the links and everything that was required, that the city was asking for. We sent those to the auditor. The auditor, put together agreed upon procedures based on those regulations. And I sent them back to Corey just the day before yesterday. The guy was out, he just had a baby, was out on paternity. They turned him around as quick as they could, considering the holidays.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine going back that far. It's gonna be a real quick turnaround.
No.
I would say at least 6 months.
And you know, even with all the stuff that happened during that time, finding some of the support.
Oh, I know.
documents is
I'm afraid what
quite
we're gonna dig up.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
And the other thing is too is, you know, wasn't in compliance.
But I think it's better to at least know now, moving forward. And so Corey's wanting us to table for the purpose of him to review the,
He was supposed to call someone.
He didn't, we haven't heard from him at all, but,
Okay.
Is he okay?
no, he did tell me yesterday he wasn't going to be here today. He had an appointment.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
But never anything about what you guys
I
discussed.
think he was checking some place when I was talking with him. I just brought it up because one, I didn't want to bring some to the board to make a decision when you didn't get it.
so what is it that he wanted us to wait on, did you
I
say?
think it was just the timing of when you received the information,
The proposal.
the proposal.
It was on, this was on the agenda, but we didn't attach a proposal to it.
Yes.
But I think we're looking at a proposal.
You are not.
Correct.
So if you are, yeah, so.
It's
what
not
you are-
length,
what
it's
you-
not lengthy.
Can
Yeah.
we approve it,
Can we
you know, tentatively and see if there's any
approve it?
problems with
I mean,
it?
I don't just see a
Huh?
problem with, I don't think.
Do you
there's a
guys, does Cohesive have a problem with this financially?
problem. No, I mean, we're gonna have to.
We gotta do it.
We have to do it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things we have to
But,
do it.
and that's one of the least expensive I've seen with the, I was
That's
actually,
what hap- We called some people
Because-
because we were going to present some proposals today if we didn't have anything, but we called some people and that's actually a pretty good price.
Yeah, because that is the
Okay.
agreed upon
Procedure.
procedure,
Not
so
all.
it's kind of a
Yeah.
narrow.
it's a procedure to get it taken care of.
Yeah.
To check a box.
I would like to make a motion, did you guys review this? I'd like to make a motion that we approve this pending attorney approval.
I don't really know if Corey was really looking to approve it, no, was he looking at the timing that you received the information, time enough to review it? So I don't think-
But I think it was on the agenda,
Yeah.
and the fact that we had an opportunity to, it's similar to me with regards to the, policy and
Oh, that's-
procedures.
That's right, yes.
I mean, we have availability to it, you're showing it, I mean, the
Yeah.
difference with policy and procedures is that it was so thick, there was no way in a meeting
That's
that we
right.
could have reviewed that.
Yeah.
I think, I reviewed it,
Yeah.
I reviewed it.
I think it's appropriate
To use them to do the
Yeah.
audits.
Yeah.
or to use the specific guidelines. It's
Yeah.
not an audit.
Yes.
It is to use those guidelines
Straight
in
from the
order.
statutes that he sent us.
Okay. And then
Here's the thing, we approve it, and Corey says, no, you can't approve it. Then what's the harm, and what's the foul? Corey says, great, then we don't have to get together for a special meeting if we're
I
on.
mean, we worked with him to get the proposal. I said, I think, you know, you're right, it was the timing of giving your information in a very short time frame to make a decision, but they are comfortable with it.
Aye.
Something that has to be done, everyone says it's a good price, so I don't see what the issue is.
Just, we have to understand, it's not an audit.
But will it satisfy the needs of what is needed?
So that's what he's wanting to wait on.
I was gonna say, that's the big
Just-
question.
No, he sent us the
requirements.
requirements, yeah.
And this company is saying that they will fulfill the requirements that we,
That's right,
okay,
yeah.
But it
for
is,
19,000.
it's not a full audit.
No, it's
Yeah.
an agreed upon.
Because that, and that's the reason for that
And
price,
he-
and I get that.
He does say the proposed procedures are outlined below in the Oklahoma statutes
Right.
titled, and this is what he's saying.
That's
And
okay
these
for the city?
fees associated.
It's okay for the city, if our city attorney is saying that that's what we need, then that's what we need. We were supposed to have one done last year, so this is showing them and presenting that we're getting something
That's
done.
right.
If she comes down in December and says that that's not acceptable, then we'll have a special meeting and say, hey, they're not accepting this.
That's right.
So,
And I would almost
Best
say,
we can do.
yeah, I would say that we move forward on this with the understanding that,
pending if our auditor is not going to accept that,
yeah,
then,
but I would hate to pay the amount if,
do you have to pay
You're
the
not
amount
paying
in full?
anything until it works.
Completed.
So, right, there's
So
no
December
upfront.
is coming up, so we'll be able to have an answer,
Mhm.
hopefully soon.
Well, and I can email our auditor tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
so
And
I,
give her time to answer.
I'd make a motion to approve, or you've already made the motion.
Yeah, I just need a second.
I'll second it.
Let's call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, this, item number 38. I mean, do we have to move into executive session, or can we just?
You don't have the documents in front of you.
We got them in front of us, we can read them.
You can approve them or not, you don't have to go into.
I don't know how we don't approve the one.
That's pretty easy, we don't approve it.
Well, I guess it's just a, hello, this is what's happening.
Are we allowed to talk in general? Okay. So basically, as of October 31st, January 1st would be the last day, is the way I'm reading this.
Yes.
Are you wanting to keep them on for that 60 days, or are we gonna go ahead and just say?
We're going
Thank
to,
you.
because we have some patients lined up, so we have to continue. The guy, he's been good to us. Yeah, and he's trying his best.
Is this the one that we approved, the new contract earlier in the
No.
beginning of the summer? Okay.
No.
So as a part of this motion, we need to accept the resignation and then,
I think we got two separate
Yeah, two
entities here.
separate.
Like, they aren't, yeah.
So is this,
The-
is the second one replacing?
No,
Oh, okay.
No.
he's just a general in-house.
The first one?
No, the second one.
There's always wound care.
Who's one here?
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, I've got them confused. Okay,
The first one.
Davenport is
yes,
The other dog.
Yeah, he's an ER provider.
Yes.
Does every other weekend for us.
yes.
And you're happy with them?
21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is the year down here, October 28th, 2021?
That's when his initial contract started
Okay,
with us.
okay,
This is just an amendment to that contract.
gotcha.
and I know we're not, what's different in the amendment? Is it the amount?
Yes.
Okay. And I know we're hitting some touchy. How much was that increased?
Less, right around, I'd say 7% maybe? No, not even that. Let's see.
You're fine, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
But I know we moved him up to where most of his kids already
Yeah.
are.
I know that's touchy when we're in public.
I'd make a motion to approve.
I'd like to second that motion.
And we're talking about the amendment to the professional service agreement.
Yes. that's
Yes,
what I
we're
was
talking about Dr. Davenport.
It's a 20 an hour increase.
If we can call for a vote at this time?
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the resignation. I'd like to make a motion that, we accept the resignation.
I'll second it.
If we can call for a vote at this time?
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, staff and board remarks. Does anybody have any remarks by the governing board members, hospital CEO, city attorney, hospital employees? Okay. Any new business that could not have arisen since the posting of the agenda?
The mediation.
Oh, the
You
mediation.
have to, you said to appoint someone for the
Yes,
mediation.
we need to appoint somebody, y'all, the board needs to appoint somebody to go to the mediation for, the previously litigation on the 20th or 18th of this month, December.
In
And
Oklahoma
We
City.
talked about it before in Oklahoma City. And the board member needs to be, Corey would like a board member to be present, and y'all need to vote on if somebody wants to.
What day is that?
He said it was either the 18th or the 20th. He's going to confirm with me what day, exactly what day it is.
Yeah, that's on y'all.
So either Monday or Wednesday.
I know it's an exciting adventure.
Aren't you the one who's going on
the time?
I have no idea.
Have a great day.
I have no idea. the time.
Okay, you're on call for
I know
me.
we talked
I
about
got it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the last one.
But I couldn't remember.
Do I get to drive the car?
You can drive whatever car you
Sweet.
want. There's 13 choices.
I'll even buy you lunch. You got it.
The attorney better buy me lunch. That's all.
Like, not the board, me personally, and I'll take all 13 set of keys, and
Yeah, there's a party bus too.
they might be a little low on fuel when you get
That-
back.
that's
all I'm
fine.
saying.
Okay.
So we need to make a motion for that?
Just need to appoint somebody from what Corey was saying.
I make a motion that we appoint Mr. Carson to enjoy
Who
mediation.
seconds that?
I'll second.
Call for a vote because I'm voting no.
Yes.
Do we,
Yes.
okay. Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
No.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. You're up, Lori.
The time and the date. I'm sure Corey will.
I mean, they'll have a sign. They'll be easy to find.
Oh, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn. Thank you.
I'll second that.
And I would just give him the minutes to sign.
Lively, are you yes?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
In agreement.